Let's go to Sam in Asheville, North Carolina. Hey, Sam, how are you?
Hey, Dave. How we doing today?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Awesome. Hey, man, I'm a developer. I'm on a team of one in a beverage manufacturer here in Asheville. We've got about 100 employees. We did probably 30 mil gross last year.
Cool.
Yeah, man. I've got a buddy who I've worked with in several environments who came along behind me to this business. I've been here for 7 years, and I'm seeing that he's kind of running up against some, his own glass ceiling of sorts, where he's having trouble with his people smarts. If you're thinking about the Pat Lencioni model, he's probably either a skillful politician or a bulldozer. Mm-hmm. And I love him. He's my friend, mm-hmm. and I want the best for him. And I'm not sure how to, toe the line between professional and friend. And
does he work for you?
He doesn't. He's a teammate. He's a peer. We both report up through the CFO.
Is he aware there's a problem?
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys make beer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably ought to give him a beer. And start a discussion. Let's start a discussion. I do not answer questions for people in my life anymore. I stopped doing it when I was about 28 that they don't ask. But I have been known to try to get them to ask the question so that we can start the conversation.
Sure.
And here's how that might sound, okay? I'll call him Henry for a second, okay? Hey, Henry. Okay. When one of the things I have struggled with over the years in business is sometimes my people skills have held me back because I'm a developer and I'm all about the task and I'm all about the detail and I don't really give a crap about what somebody's feelings are. And if I don't watch, I trip over the people in the process of trying to get the work done, when if I had worked with them better, man, it just caused me a lot of pain. And it's been one of the things I've struggled with, and I've really had to work really, really hard on getting better at that, and it's just been tough for me. And if he doesn't say, yeah, me too, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
But you lead with you.
Right.
And then you go, hey, man, you want me to tell you some of the stuff I did? I read this book, and I did, and I started rethinking this, and because my daddy used to say 90% of solving a problem is knowing there is one,
mm-hmm.
and recognizing and clarifying the problem. He would say that right after he asked me to clean up the basement, and I would say, "Are you going to help?" He said, "No, I thought of it." So, that's kind of the deal. But if he becomes problem aware by you using your former problems, like we do that in the debt world, for instance, like somebody's your brother's misbehaving and overspending, and you don't go, hey, you need to quit overspending, doofus, you're not in Congress. Instead, you go sit down and go, man, I used to overspend, and I didn't have a budget, and I was out of control, but I got on a budget, we got out of debt, and man, I am sleeping so much better, my wife likes me more, and and all of a sudden then your brother goes, oh, well, I want some of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the angle I would use. And then be prepared that he might not take the bait, and you've done all you can do.
Right.
Because you can't give a fat person a book on dieting. It's insulting. Unless they ask for it, okay? But like I was trying to lose weight, and a buddy of mine goes, hey, have you looked at this new map? And I'm like, okay, yeah, because I was already working on it. We're talking about the problem, Dave eats too many donuts. This is a problem aware. And so Dave had to, quit eating some dadgum many donuts. And have you tried the new map? Yeah, okay, let me look at that thing. Oh, by the way, they did $700 million last year. I want to look at this business. Yeah, I want to know what's going on with these guys. So, yeah, so became a fan of their business, became a fan of the app and the whole thing. But it wasn't like somebody came up and go, you're kind of fat. You need to use a diet app. That doesn't work. And so, but helping him get problem aware, and then, hey, and if you want to meet once a month or once a week and let's study scripture together, let's study these books by Pat Lencioni together, let's study How to Win Friends and Influence People, the old gospel from Dale Carnegie from 100 years ago. Here's how you treat human beings. You remember their name, and it's the most beautiful sound in the world to everyone is their own name. And you remember their birthday, and, let's have some people skills. Let's figure out what they are. You could probably work on it together if he becomes problem aware and is open to, but if he just shuts down and is bound and determined to be a Sesame Street Grouch Muppet, then there's nothing you can do with that, right?
Right. It's got to be a two-way street.
Exactly. And by the way, even if you were his supervisor, that's what you'd be facing.
Yeah, that's true.
You'd use exactly the same technique. Very few times at Ramsey have we got something where we have to just sit down and look at someone and go, hey, you're not doing that anymore. I mean, if they're serious misbehavior, we'll do that, real blunt. But other times, we'll just ask and say, hey, have you thought about this? And see if you can get them buy-in. And problem aware is most of it. If you can get them problem aware and they see the need to change and they're willing to put forth some effort into that, boy, you can give him a path, can't you?
For sure.
Now, it's some of the stuff you read. I mean, you named it, Pat.
Oh, yeah, it changed my life.
Yeah, Ideal Team Player, The Motive, his latest book, reading Malcolm Gladwell, some of these, there's all kind, the classic Dale Carnegie's, all these things. Let's have a little book club, or let's pull scripture out, and, those that are first are last, those that are last are first. Oh, here's an idea. People matter, all this stuff, that kind of thing. So that's the direction to go. That's what I would do. But you just have to, I've tried it the other way, but the old 2 before in the face thing, it just seldom works. You usually have to go the subtle fishing expedition and see if you can get them on the hook, problem aware, and then we can develop a path to move away from the problem. Some tactical steps. This is the EntreLeadership Podcast.